Hey guys. So I woke up this morning really feeling compelled to make a video and just sitting in this knowingness that spirit wants me to be super supportive at this time and make more videos than I normally would. And so I was like, okay, what do you want me to bring to everybody? And usually when I do that, I'll wake up and then I'll just be with myself all morning. From the time I wake up, I'll just do things where, clean the house, just tedious things. I completely stay off media. I'm with myself, okay? First thing that they asked me to show you, which was so weird, and I had to dig these up, but it was these drawings I did while I was before my great awakening. This is when I was going through a huge dark night of the soul, but I still didn't understand how the universe truly worked at that time. And it was during my marriage. I was married for 6 years and had my kids and everything. And yeah, I used to, when I was in school, I used to draw mandalas and be really into geometry, and I would have a compass and I would do all these drawings. And I didn't really understand why, but it made me feel good. And so when I was married, I was it was 6 years of the dark night. That's how my marriage felt. It was it was a month after I got married, I realized I shouldn't have. And I felt like I needed to ride it out because I was already pregnant with my son and all these things. So, your mind and your ego are saying, you have to stick it out. And so, I was just for a million reasons. Everybody knows, you care what people think. You don't want to feel like a failure. All these things. So I was like, you know what? You're supposed to work through marriage and work together and all that kind of stuff. And I was just going through it. And so I got to this point where I was I just wanted to escape. And I kept feeling and being drawn to creating these drawings. So I brought some of them to show you. And some of them aren't even finished, but it was just lots of mandalas. I just brought 4 out. Just obsessively drawing these, okay? And from time to time, this one isn't finished, but from time to time, I still do them. I was and Spirit was I got my drawing stuff out yesterday, but I didn't actually draw, and I couldn't understand, why did I feel the intuition to get my stuff out, but I didn't really want to draw? And it was because I needed to share this message with you guys, okay? So I wanted to share that with you, but I also have this message that I want to share, and it kind of ties into my psychic attack video. When I shared in that video, I shared this part where I said, I was telling you guys, I said to Lance something that I knew would trigger him, but it's something that my ego was trying to, you'll see what I'm saying after I explain it. Okay, so I say to Lance, what do you do that's creative? How are you expressing yourself through your connection to source? Okay. To me, my ego says that is how you express yourself. That is how you're in mission. That is how you, through some type of creative aspect. And boy, was I humbled. My ego was humbled by the universe, and that's okay. Your ego is always going to be there, but if you can see it as something to help you learn and grow, and not be so shame yourself and look down yourself for maybe being wrong about something, because being wrong or your ego making you think something should be a certain way is such a gift. It's such a gift, guys. So this is how it came through. So for Lance, it's no secret, Lance is black, okay? Me and Lance break every stereotype you could think of. And that's one thing I love about our relationship. I'm a tall white woman, he's a short black man, and we just look like the oddest couple ever. Like, if you were to see us, like, you're trying to figure it out, but you can't quite put your finger on it. That's us, okay? And I love that about us, because that is exactly what Spirit was trying to show me. And what I mean by that is, about over a decade ago, Lance experienced the police brutality that we talk about, okay? At that time, he was a teacher. His ex-wife's parents lived in this very nice neighborhood, and he was driving to her house, and he got targeted because, obviously, he's black, and he didn't look like he belonged there, right? So they were looking for a reason to pull him over. That's what police do when they're, not all police, okay? I'm not anti-police. I'm trying to explain something to you. So he got targeted. He got pulled over for basically no reason. And then, he was upset about that. And then, so his energy was like that of an attitude about it. Like, why are you pulling me over? Like, what the hell? You know, I didn't do anything. And then he ended up getting his ass beat by the police. And he must have put up some type of fight. I don't know. Like, I don't try to, like, dive into this story too much. He's told me a couple times. But at the end of the day, he was facing many years in jail for resisting arrest, okay? Mind you, like, this, let me tell you something about Lance. His parents, his dad is a pastor. His parents are amazing people. He grew up with respect. He grew up in a household that, like, is ideal. Like, he's a good man, okay? So when you're a good person and somebody is trying to attack you and assume something about you based off what you look like, that brings something up in you. It brings a fight up in you. So how could you blame somebody for, like, feeling that way in that moment, being in that energy? Anyways, his attorney ended up getting him off on a plea deal, so he didn't have to go to jail or anything, but he still was charged with resisting arrest, which is on your record, which means, like, good luck finding a job. You know, it just ruins your life, right? And so he went through these dark nights, and I want to share this. I want to share that specifically, and I've never shared that before, but the reason I do is because I was sitting there asking Lance, what do you do that's creative? And it's like, Kelsey, that's not his mission. That's not his mission. And the funny thing is he was talking to one guy at work the other day, and he said where he lives in this area, because we live in a small mountain town, okay, outside of Pittsburgh, like in the mountains. And there's one black guy at his huge job that he works at, and he was having this discussion. He told him where he worked, and or where he lived, and the guy's like, whoa, you better be careful living out there. Like, it's all white people. It's a small conservative community. We're one of, like, the only towns where, like, the police do not enforce, like, you don't have to wear masks. The restaurant stayed open. Like, it's very conservative out here. And if you're not from the United States and you don't really understand these stereotypes, it's like, you don't go there if you're a black person, because you assume that you won't be accepted or you are going to be attacked in some way. Like, you put yourself in harm's way, just like white people from the suburbs would say, I would never go to the east side, downtown, where all the rough areas are, because, like, and it's all these stereotypes that have been fed to us through media, through movies, through all this stuff. And it's all these assumptions, and it keeps us separated, and it keeps us divided. And the funny thing is that we also have, like, a camp up where we go see my family. It's like 2.5 hours away. Very rural area, only white people. The difference between the South and the North in the United States is that the South, the country areas, the rural areas are integrated with black people, but up north, it is not like that. It is usually the rural areas is only white people. And that's where I grew up. So anyways, there's this campground, and we put our camper there, so whenever we want to go visit my family and the kids want to have fun, we go to camp and they swim and we do all types of stuff. But it's so funny, when we're there, all of, like, the men and all that, like, what people do at night is we have our fires and we play cornhole and we have fun. They always are asking for Lance. They love Lance, okay? And then he'll go down to get food at one of the local restaurants, and he'll sit, and he won't be home for a while. I'm like, why wasn't he, where's he at? Like, the food couldn't take that long to be ready, right? He's sitting there talking to an old white couple and just like shooting the shit with them for like the longest, right? People love his energy. And what is his mission? He is stepping into his mission by just being him, by just showing people that Black people aren't what you see on the TV. White people aren't always what you see on the TV. And that is like so crucial right now, guys, to understand like every single individual has a different mission. And the mission of the dark energies in our world is to divide us, is to plant a perception in our minds of what they want us to think about each other. And that makes us treat each other in a certain way. They're doing it with the pandemic. They do it with all the police brutality. Yes, it exists. Why does it exist? Because we have all these preconceived notions. Why did those officers feel the need to stereotype him and attack him? Because that's what they were taught. This is generational. I love that we are the complete opposite, because we are showing everybody that comes in contact with us what true, genuine being connected to source is, because all of those things don't matter. Newsflash, everybody has been every race, every gender, all of the things. So when you are attached to your history or attached to these things that have happened, that's why they play off the emotions of the Black community. They play off the emotions of the white community. That's what the whole Black Lives Matter thing, they're using the emotions that have been programmed into Black people to manipulate them into doing demonic shit or supporting a demonic cause. I was all about Black Lives Matter when it first came out because I didn't understand what it was. I thought I was supporting the Black community. I didn't realize it was infiltrated. Just like the HBCUs and all that. The Rockefeller's wife, Laura Spelman, she created Spelman. All these HBCUs were funded by demons and by dark energies and dark forces that have an agenda to keep us separated, guys. And in so many ways, me and part of Lance and I's mission is to expose all that shit and to show people the darkness and expose it. But the point I'm trying to make is that his mission had nothing to do with what my ego assumed it was. And he has been on point and just showing his light just by being who he is and showing people what it is to be connected and to be, just be yourself. We can't keep like separating ourselves from other people because we assume things about them. Because when you come together, you start to realize and you have these conversations that you're so much more alike than you even realize. And all these things are just programmed into our heads. Another thing, I really want to get that point across. And if that triggers people, that's probably just your programming, okay? It is programming. It's so funny because so many things aligned. When I was in school and in college, I was a history major, but my specific studies were minorities in America. I read so many freaking books about the civil rights movement and all those kind of things. I was so into it. And I'm more of a Malcolm X supporter than I am MLK because they infiltrated him. I'm not saying that MLK he definitely had good intentions, but he was also had the pressure of, and when they come to like leaders, civil rights leaders and stuff like that, they know what angles to come at them from so they can infiltrate the movements. They have always wanted to create this slave society. And when I mean slavery, it's more mental than it is anything. And wow, what a great job they did. You see how divided we are? Just look at what's going down right now. Completely divided. And everybody on the opposite side who don't understand they're supporting these demonic forces, they don't realize it, because they think they're doing the right thing. So we can't just point the finger at them like, you're asleep, you don't understand. You have to let it come up for them. And that's going to happen, guys. And I just also want to say this. Anybody who is in fear that it's not going to work out, step into your knowingness. Stop watching all the political shit. Stop waiting for somebody to post something so you can feel better. You have to choose to feel better. You make that choice. Always. If you're watching my channel, you probably already feel this way. 5D New Earth is here. These energetic shifts are happening. You understand that this was written about in all the ancient scriptures, and this is the Great Awakening. So step out of that fear. It doesn't matter how it happens. Newsflash, none of these people on YouTube know either. They do not know how it's going to unfold. They don't, and they're not gonna. It's gonna happen when it happens, and you'll know it because you're in it. The best thing you can do is just focus on something else that makes you happy. Like for me, I might get back to like drawing or something today to kind of just like step away from it, but I've already stepped away from it. Like, I'm not even worried about it. I'm not worried about it. Oh, it needs to happen sooner so I can feel better. It's so much bigger than that. Step away from worrying about how you feel right now in terms of what's going on. If you want to be in control of how you feel, then do that by not placing how you feel on what happens externally. There was one other thing I wanted to mention, but I can't remember it, but that's okay. Guys, everything is good. Everything is good, and how you perceive it is your choice. Every moment is a choice to see life in the way that you want to see it. But that is for you to decide. And so when we're going through these super, super intense, crazy times, you have to understand that. You have to be in, like, maybe feel that fear creep in and check it. Check yourself. When you learn how to practice that more and more and more, it comes to the point where the fear is gone. That is how you alchemize it. You be the observer. You observe your thoughts. You observe what you say, how you act, what you feel. You observe it. And then you take that opportunity to alchemize it. In whatever way that is for you, it's different for everybody. But sinking into it and believing it, that is not going to help. It's not going to help anyone or anything. I woke up this morning so excited. I just feel good. And it's not even excited because everything's about to be exposed. I'm not even thinking about that half the time, to be honest with you. I'm just living my life. Living my life and feeling the best that I possibly can. And when you do that, Spirit starts speaking to you. It starts giving you, like, if you're connected, you get this reassurance constantly. It's when you sink into ego. Like the other day when I asked Lance, what do you do that's creative? Because my ego's assuming that that's what he's here to do if he's connected. That just brings you down. But that also opened up something within both of us. It opened up this message that I had to get to him. I had to get to you guys. And it also helped me learn. How was I not judging being in that? That's why it triggered him, because I was in my ego, so it brings up his ego if he's not checking his own self. And this stuff these concepts are very basic, but when your life is full of all these complicated little details, you can't really see that. And you're programmed to be, since birth, we are programmed to operate from the right side of our brain, the ego. So deprogramming yourself is not an easy process. I'm still doing it, and I will still continue to do it for the rest of this incarnation. And I don't know what the next incarnation holds, but I'm hoping that I will work through so much and expand so much that maybe I don't even have to come back as a human being next time, But I don't even care to wonder about that, because it's the future, and how is that going to help me right now in this moment? It's not. and trying to predict it, it doesn't mean anything. The only thing that I need to focus on, because when I do that, then I'm disconnected. If I'm living in the past, when you live in the past and you're worried about the past, you're in depression. I've said this before. When you're worried about the future, you get into anxiety because you're trying to predict it. And I'm sure all of you have recognized this in your own life. What happens in your future is never what you thought it was going to be. Especially if you're on the ascension journey. Like, if you're in your ego, you can kind of predict it because you refuse to grow. So it's pretty much the same old shit, right? But if you're connected to source, it is never what you think it's going to be. There's so many curveballs, and it's always better. It's always better if you're working on yourself because you're expanding and you're a vibrational match to everything that you desire. So what I wanted to give to you guys today was just my energy of showing you that we don't have to be afraid. We don't have to let our egos take the driver's seat. We can look at things in a different way and see our programming. That's why I wanted to share, like, I don't like to talk about racial stuff because I know it triggers people. Because we've been programmed so deeply to be divided. So deeply. So deeply. Oh my gosh, guys. Like, so much can I feel this awakening happening, and it just, like, it feels great. It feels great because I know all this contrast, and I'm talking about 2021. Like, you know how you hear different people talk about how it's going to be so good for the light workers. And let me tell you, it's going to be fucking rough on the 3D physical perspective of things. But when you sit in your knowingness, of course it's going to be amazing. Because you freaking already know. You already know the result, the end result, New Earth. And you're just watching everything break down and watching it open and unfold. How beautiful is it? All the people that have woke up just within less than a year, just since COVID-19. Because why? Why? Because everybody it's so in your face. All the darkness is so in your face. Like, you have to really have your head in the sand and really be stuck in your programming and your ego and be attached to all those things to not see it. So many millions and millions of people have already woken up. Be patient. It's happening. Let it unfold. You don't know what it's going to be. Even Donald Trump doesn't know what it's going to be. Why? Because nobody can predict the future. The universe is what's unfolding. Every timeline can change in any given moment. Stop being attached to, like, an outcome. We know the outcome. And it's a very broad New Earth. That's the outcome. And everybody wants the specifics. Well, they're not going to happen. You're going to be in the moment, and you're going to learn to live in the moment and stop being attached to knowing what's going to happen. I know it's uncomfortable to feel like that fear of the unknown, what's going to happen. It's going to be good. Sorry, I spoiled the ending. It's going to be good. But anyways, guys, I freaking love you. Don't worry. Step out of all those low vibrational energies. You don't have to be in them. It's a choice. Every moment is a choice. I love you. I hope this helps. And yeah, have an awesome day.